Hey guys, so what's up with this 1,000-gram wall? Is it really a thing? I don't know. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Chris. I am missing Carly today. She actually had a chance to go play with some friends, and I'll tell you, in a day of homeschool learning and not getting to really socialize, they certainly take every chance that they can get to go spend some time with their friends. But normally I have Carly with me, and we are CNC Reptiles. We are a father and daughters team that keep ball pythons. And share our experiences here on YouTube. So if you're returning with us, guys, we appreciate you coming back. Definitely appreciate all the support that you give us. And if you're new to the channel and like what you see, then consider subscribing, maybe leaving a comment down below or liking the video. It certainly helps us out to get our content out there. But the question of the day, guys, is so what's up with this whole 1,000-gram wall thing with ball pythons? So in short, I guess, the definition or the thought concept behind a 1,000-gram wall is somewhere around 1,000 grams, your ball python may just kind of stop eating, okay? Now, it's not some magical number where they hit 1,000 grams and then just stop. There's typically some ranges that you hear out there. Hey, sweetie. So it's anywhere from like 800 to 1,200 grams or 900 to 1,100 grams. Your ball python may actually just stop eating, right? Now, to be honest, up until now, I haven't really had an opinion on the 1,000-gram wall because, well, I didn't have any snakes that were big enough. Up until about a couple months ago, all of my snakes were about as big as Peanut here, or my biggest snakes, I should say. My oldest snakes were about as big as Peanut. Peanut is our butter inchy pastel ghost, and she's just a beautiful little girl. And as of yesterday, weighed 644 grams, okay? So nice sized little girl, putting some weight on for us, but definitely not near that 800 or 900 grams where this potential 1,000-gram wall might take effect, okay? So we have had a couple of girls, though, our two oldest, who have jumped up into that weight range, if you will. And we have a couple of different experiences with them. So why don't we take a look at the first girl? Okay, guys, so here is our first snake that has jumped up into this range of the 1,000-gram wall, okay? So if you've been with us for a while, you guys know that this is Cutie. Cutie is our piebald female. Now, she is our oldest snake that we have, so she is 15 months old. And actually in 2 weeks, we will have had her a year. So we will have had her 12 months and 2 weeks. Just amazing to think how the time has really flown that we've had this girl. So when we got her, she was 97 grams. And as of yesterday, when I weighed this girl, she was 1,125 grams, okay? So Cutie is probably the ball python that everyone definitely hopes to have. Since the first day that I put a rat in front of her face, about a week after she came home, she ate, and she has not stopped eating. She eats in shed, she eats really just every time we put a rat in front of her face. Don't you, sweet girl? And has just really put on a lot of size and has just blown through the 1,000 grams or 1,000-gram, potential 1,000-gram wall. Like I said, that can be anywhere from, depending on who you listen to, 900 to 1,100 grams, 800 to 1,200 grams. And she's a fantastic eater, and have just really never had a problem with her. And so, you know, she is, again, I think, probably that snake that you really just hope all your snakes turn out to be, who just eat no matter what you put in front of them, right? And so if this was my only snake that I had ever had, I would say you're crazy. There's no such thing as a 1,000-gram wall, because this girl eats no matter what. And you know, it's kind of funny in this hobby, it never seems like you can have middle ground, right? Whether you're talking about 1,000-gram wall or feeding frozen thawed or live or terrariums or racks, man, it seems like whatever side some people are on, that's the only way. Well, that's not necessarily true with ball pythons. There's definitely a lot of gray area with these guys, or in this case, girls. And but like I said, if it was just Cutie, I would say no. There's probably no such thing as a 1,000-gram wall. So the next snake we're going to look at had a little bit different journey than what Cutie has. And before I put her up, just golly, look at this girl. She's just really keeping these oranges nice. I mean, granted, she's not full grown yet. She could still brown out a little bit, but man, she's just looking beautiful. But let's take a look now at the second snake that's jumped into this range. All right, guys, so here is our second girl who has jumped up into this 1,000-gram wall range. And this is Bubbles. She is our female clown, and she's gonna say hi to the camera. Now you can't tell, but she definitely yesterday was a little bit more, but she is in shed. She was in deep blue yesterday when I actually got a weight on her. But she's had a little bit different journey, hey baby, than what Cutie has had as far as that goes. Now, when we first got Bubbles, she is actually 13 months old, so just over a year old. Got her at the exact same time, actually from the same breeder that we got Cutie. So we've had her for just under a year. Again, have them a year in about 2 weeks. So you're still a little cloudy in the eyes there. But Bubbles, the first time we tried to feed her, she didn't eat. Unlike Cutie, she did not eat. Now the second time and the third time she did eat, and then the fourth time she didn't eat. Now that fourth time could potentially have been, I was actually out of town, it was Carly's first time feeding by herself. Could have had something to do with that, may not have. But ever since then, so basically mid-October up until basically May 30th, she never missed a meal. I mean, she was just, hey baby, she was just as good as Cutie, just pounding rats, no hesitation, very confident feeder. And then May 30th, she was actually in shed. Now she has always eaten in shed, just like Cutie, actually just like all our snakes, had always eaten in shed, but on May 30th, she didn't. So she was in shed, tried a few times, just she wouldn't hardly even come out of her hide, and just would not eat. So okay, no big deal. So the next 5 meals she ate, no problem. Hey baby, and just pounded them, boom, 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 boom. And so I think it was what, the 12th. I think it was like July 12th, something like that. Went back into shed, wouldn't eat. All right, no big deal. Maybe, maybe she was going to become one of those snakes that just wouldn't eat in shed. In fact, there's a lot of people don't even feed their snakes in shed just because they don't eat. So, no big deal. So she ate the next 4 meals. And then we come to, what was it? August 15th. August 15th, which was kind of about the time when she was shed. She was shedding about every 5 to 6 weeks. She didn't eat. And I thought, oh, okay, well, she's about to go into shed, so probably not a big deal. The next week, she didn't eat. And she was not in shed, right? So she hadn't shed between those 2 weeks, but she wasn't eating. And at this point, she was 920 grams, okay? So I'm thinking, okay, well, this could be our first experience with this 1,000-gram wall, right? So didn't eat for 2 weeks. And then last week, which was, what was the date last week? The 30th. I had stopped pulling out 5 rats. So we have 5 snakes. I stopped pulling out 5 just because she wasn't eating. And so what I've been doing is I would offer her Cutie's rat, whichever one Cutie was scheduled to eat, which is typically the biggest rat, and she hadn't been taking it. But last week I offered a Cutie. She didn't take it, so I fed it to Cutie. And then I offered her Kalahari's rat, which was a 55-gram rat. And although she didn't snatch it right away, she waited just a second. It took her probably about 10 to 15 seconds, and she took it, right? So didn't eat for 2 weeks, and then ate last week. Now she is in shed, and although her eyes have kind of cleared up, I'm not real sure she's going to eat this week. I'm still going to only pull 4 rats out, and what I may do is try to put this maybe even in a 2-part video and try to video her tonight. Maybe not the whole feeding experience with all the snakes, but with her in particular, to see if she eats, right? I don't anticipate that she will, but now that her eyes have cleared up a little bit, she might. I mean, she was in deep blue yesterday when I weighed her. And when I weighed her, she was actually 889 grams. Now, she has not gone to the bathroom, so that's a little deceiving. So she's probably more like 989 grams. I'm a little dyslexic there. She's probably more like 940 is where I would guess she probably is. 940 to 950, somewhere in there, is probably what she actually weighs if she was empty. So again, like I said, I don't necessarily anticipate that she's going to eat, but it doesn't mean that she won't. So we'll still offer and we'll still see. So, when we talk about that, she likes the camera. She's not usually that inquisitive about the camera. She likes it today, though. So, we talk about this, and she's 940 grams. She's missed 6 meals while she's been with us. But quite honestly, the first 2 meals, she was still fairly new. The second 2 meals were while she was in shed. And as I said, there's a lot of people that have snakes don't eat in shed. These last 2 meals, I think there might even be an explanation for those. So the last meal that she ate, hey sweet girl, she likes to boop snoots. The last meal that she actually ate, that was back on the 16th, I think it was. No, I'm sorry, the 9th. She ate the biggest rat she's ever had. So technically, weight-wise, it was a medium rat. She's been on smalls. And she ate a 91-gram rat, okay? Like I said, biggest rat. Now, well within what she could take, so I usually feed them, once they reach about 450 to 500 grams, I feed them about 10% of their body weight. That tends to be about that size of rat tends to be about the size of the biggest part of their body. And so that was actually under, at the time, she was 922 grams. So a 91 gram was fit right in that, 9 to 10% range. But those next 2 meals, so she hadn't gone to the bathroom by the next time I fed. So I think she was still pretty full. And even though they're very opportunistic feeders, that being a bigger rat may have kind of discouraged her a little bit. She had gone to the bathroom by that second chance at feeding 2 weeks later. And I'm almost wondering if it was maybe somewhat of a little bit of psychological deal, right? Really, really large rat. Maybe it gave her a little extra stress. I don't know that, right? But knowing last week that she wouldn't eat the rat I was going to give Cutie, which was like a 78 gram, but she did take the rat that I gave Kalahari, which was 55, much smaller prey size. Maybe with her, maybe, we might just have to do a little bit smaller than what I might with the others, right? I'm not saying that. I'm still not labeling her a problem feeder, and quite honestly, I can't necessarily say she's hitting a 1,000-gram wall either, right? She's just had a couple of instances where she hadn't fed. So, with her, does it exist? Possibly. It's possible, right? But again, I can't full board just say, yes, 1,000-gram wall exists with her, okay? I think it'll take us a few more weeks just to kind of find out. If she continues to not eat, then maybe, yeah, we've hit a 1,000-gram wall a little bit. But we'll kind of see, so one thing I want to point out, so let's just say she does go on and she just decides to say hello to the camera again, but decides not to eat. Few things we can do. So first and foremost, guys, if you ever have a snake that's not going to eat, make sure your temps are right. Make sure your humidity's on point, right? Make sure the humidity's there. Make sure your hot spot's running where your hot spot should. Make sure your ambient's where you expect your ambient to be. And anytime that they're not feeding, because that can surely throw them off. If all those things are good, what I might do, so she's in this middle tub right here. She continues to really kind of act like she's not interested. I'll probably move her to the top. So I've got Cutie down here, but sometimes just a slight change in a microclimate inside the tub from a different spot in the rack gets them going, right? If that didn't work, I could always try to go back to one of these smaller tubs. Although I usually keep my ball pythons in bigger tubs than maybe what the industry standard says you can keep them in, right? I have found they actually do like the extra space and don't necessarily always just stay cramped in a corner. I could go back to a smaller tub. Technically, you can keep them in here till they say 11 to 1,200 grams, right? So at 900 grams, 940 grams, she's probably fine to be in there. And we can see if that works, right? I don't necessarily anticipate having to do either one of those, right? But if she doesn't eat, those are definitely some different things that you could try. So that's kind of it, guys. I think the 1,000-gram wall is a viable thing. I have not run into it. I hope I don't. I'm going to knock on wood over here that I don't. But like I said, even with Bubbles here, who I wouldn't really even label a problem feeder, can't necessarily say that that I've hit it yet, right? A few more weeks and we'll know. We'll have an update video at the end of the quarter, the end of September for all 5 snakes. We usually do a 3-month kind of update to see how they've grown over the last 3 months. So we'll know, we'll see there, and we'll kind of retouch on that. But, you know, I would say there's some viability there, but luckily I haven't run into it yet, right? Not even, like I said, not even with bubbles here. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. We'll have, we're going to try and get back on track of every week. It's been kind of weird figuring out working from home and school from home and all that fun stuff. Try and get back on track of making sure we're posting at least weekly, and then maybe get back to twice a week like we were doing there for a while. But guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions, or if you've run into some 1,000 gram wall stuff, and we can converse then. But other than that, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Bye.